Wall Street Memes Casino
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.
Welcome to episode 48 of Talk Smart with
Pugh
and McCart. I'm Andrew McCart, and that is the Pugmeister General himself, Joe Pugh. Probably wherever there's boxing around the country right now, you're there. What show haven't you
It
been?
seems that way. It seems that way. You'll probably tell by the bags under my eyes. 2 shows in 2 cities this weekend, but we love it. There were some great fights, and I'm sure we'll talk about them, mate.
Well, let's talk about the Saturday night show, the one in Birmingham, as you say, Joe. Let's talk about that. Great card, great young prospects coming through, great co-main event. Got it a little bit about the main event, it didn't go further, but yeah, great card top to bottom. You were there. Speak to me.
Yeah, we'll start off with just go from the live broadcast. Hamza Sheeraz, second fight, so entertaining. Excellent display against an opponent who was 3 weights above him on a week's notice. Risk of him coming off, but he chose to kind of move up those weight divisions to get that fight done. He was gutted he didn't get the knockout, but he done everything but that, and really put on a show. Really excited. I know you was at his debut. You loved him, didn't you, Andy?
Yeah, I loved him. I love a little bit of showmanship, but I also like when you can bring a little bit of substance behind it. Do you know what I mean? If you can bring a little bit of substance behind it, the way Hamza does, then like that Prince Nazim era, nobody took to Prince Nazim. Well, the people did, but a lot of people hated him the way he done his antics and stuff like that. But now look, when he's retired, look, he's probably everyone's favourite fighter from back then. He's definitely one of mine. So I love Hamza Sheeraz. I love that he's got the flash, he's got the skill set, and he's got that one punch. He might not have done it, but he step up 2 weights, 3 weight divisions to get a fight, which shows he's got balls of steel. Do you know what I mean? He's willing to go up to get a fight, which is good to see. Loved every second of it. I loved what he brings to the table in terms of, even when he was on the press conference with Eddie Hearn, what did he say? He says something about Saudi Arabia in October. And he was basically saying, I'll be there. Do you know what I mean? So he's probably a better, probably isn't a better salesman than Eddie Hearn, but he's definitely a good, he sells himself pretty well.
Yeah, he definitely does. And after the fight, he made a point of saying he really wanted to shine with Matchroom because of the hold he's got in the super fly division with the likes of obviously Bam, Sonny, Estrada. So if he's looking that far ahead so soon, like he's got bigger expectations of himself. And as I say, he was a little bit annoyed with himself that he didn't get the knockout, but he says, make no mistake, the next one is getting sparked. So yeah, he very entertaining. I really do like him. Spent a bit of time with him this week, and yeah, really good guy. We'll move on then to the British and Commonwealth title fight between Shannon Ryan and Emma Dolan. I haven't watched all the fight because I was backstage when it was happening. Good close fight, and both girls throughout the week so confident. You really couldn't tell, and in the end, I think it would have been a draw if it weren't for the knockdown. I believe if the scorecards got read out, was the hooks behind the head borderline. I don't know if you've seen Andrew, but yeah, I think Emma Dolan's a force to be reckoned with because she kind of goes in under the radar. I spoke to her after. She said that none of her opponents seem to like her. She's got a problem. It happened with Nicola Hopewell. Now it happened with Shannon Ryan, and she's come out on top for both of them. The first ever British champion, she's the third, by the way, in the females, was Lauren Price. Now she's world champion less than a year later. So she's going to be looking for Europeans and world titles very quick.
Especially, like, we know about women's boxing right now that even though there's a good few talented girls right now, the pool of talent isn't that deep. So when we talk about world titles for these girls, we're talking about 7, 8 fights time, 9 fights time, whatever it may be, because the pool of talent isn't quite that deep yet. It's not there yet, but I'm sure maybe after another couple of Olympic cycles, women's boxing is going to take off, and there'll be hundreds of girls, and it'll be where the pool talent will be similar to what the men's is like right now. So you're right in saying that, Joe. But for me, let's just go straight to that fight of the year candidate. It's probably again right now. I'm trying to think of another fight this year that I've watched that probably matches that. It's hard because it's like a 24-hour news cycle in boxing, isn't it? You move on to the next right quick, and you forget about what happened in some small hall show somewhere. But yeah, Lewis Crocker against Conah Walker. Watching it from where I was in the comfort of my little spinny couch over there that I've got in front of this behind this computer. Mate, what a fight! What an absolute barnstormer of a fight. I said it would be a barnstormer last week, and I don't normally get things right, Joe, but when I do, I'm happy. But that was an easy one to call, I suppose. But yeah, great fight.
Yeah, I don't think you'll be handing out any lifetime achievement awards for predicting that was going to be a banger, Andrew, to be honest, because I think anybody who knew anything about boxing knew this was going to be an absolute war, and it lived up to everything and more. First of all, before I even talk about the fight, the atmosphere was phenomenal. Obviously, a large chunk of Brummie fans for Conah Walker, but then you probably had about 50 in the back corner of Lewis Crocker fans who made themselves known. Yeah, absolute great fight, and it just seemed to be getting better and better and better as the fight went on. Even like a little bit of beef in the corners, as we see. With Billy, I know you've interviewed him today. Like everyone got involved, just the whole arena, even people ringside who probably had nothing to do with this fight, probably were there for someone completely different, up screaming. It was everything you want from a domestic fight, and that's what it is, really, isn't it? And I know it's had a world ranking belt attached to it. Paddy Donovan was ringside. I think he was on commentary. You'll have to tell me. And that weight division, let's just get like a little round robin going with them, because that is phenomenal with a world title at the end of it.
Well, but I'll stay on the Paddy Donovan fight right now because, like I said, I just spoke to Billy Nelson there. He dismissed that fight. He wants Lewis Crocker to probably push for that sort of maybe someday in them rankings where he can get my world title shot, maybe beginning of the next year or whatnot. But he did put this. Lewis Crocker's fighting in Belfast. I think he's headlining the show in Belfast in November, December time. And Billy said, why not put Paddy Donovan and Conah Walker as co-main event in Ireland? And I was like, that's not a bad little shout, to be honest. That's a good fight. But I'm not a promoter.
Did he dismiss the rematch?
No, he didn't dismiss the rematch. No.
Okay.
So, but
I want to see the rematch. I really want to see the rematch.
So do I. But he didn't dismiss the rematch. But he said, then he said, whoever wins that fight, Crocker will fight them next after that fight. Because I think he said it's quite close to a world title or something like that because of the way the belt situation is right now with Terence Crawford moving up. I think there's a guy called Brian Norman in the WBA. Is it?
Yeah, that was for a WBA ranking, and Conah Walker was number 4 with them.
Yeah, so I think there's a guy called Brian Norman in the WBA. Now, don't quote me on this again. This is when we're going to get slaughtered somewhere for getting this wrong. But I think there's a guy called Brian Norman, a young American guy. He's like 19, 20 and all. I looked him up a couple of days ago. Actually, talented young fighter. I think they might be pushing for him for that world title. And if that happens, then I don't know. But going to the fight itself, for me, fucking what a fight that was, man. I love it when you've just got two guys that are showing skill set. They're not just two brawlers. There's a if you actually analyze it and you look at them, there's a skill set to it. Now, although Conah Walker was on the front foot, Crocker had a high guard and he wasn't really landing the telling shot. He threw more punches, but Crocker landed the more telling shots, the heavier shots. But again, from how the heck Conor took them shots, I'm like, I don't know. I honestly don't know. What an absolute...
Same can be said for Lewis, though. At the end, I think the same can be said for Lewis.
Definitely. I think it was round 8, Joe. I think it was round 8. I don't know if you saw it because I got the pleasure of the replay. Lewis landed like a 6-7 punch combination, like bang, 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 bang. But instead of sort of like halting Conor to stop him coming forward, it almost like pissed Conor off. And Conor just came back. He came back with like a nasty response, and I'm like, what the fuck? I was loving it, man. And it was just, I don't know if you saw that or you remember it because there was so much going on.
No, I do.
That for me was just I absolutely love that, man. Do you know what I mean? You get a little bit of needle at the press conference. It engrosses you. It entices you into the fight. Sometimes you can get damp squids. You can get a fight that doesn't mean anything. Do you know what I mean? You can have all that back and forth, but in the fight, it's a stinker. But that had everything. You had that little bit of needle. You had the fight was absolutely tremendous. You had two warriors who put it all on the line, and absolutely fair play to Conor, fair play to Lewis. I hope I can see it again. I want to see it again. Who knows? You know what boxing's like nowadays. If this sort of world title or whatever it may be against this guy that they're hoping for in December time, November, December time, if that doesn't happen, I think fans might scream for this Conor Walker rematch, but this time on Lewis's home soil. That makes sense. It makes sense.
But that incident that you said there, I think about when obviously Crocker landed a lot of heavy punishment. You're thinking, and in any usual round of any fight, you're thinking, yeah, he's got the round. That's Lewis's round. But then when he comes back, you're like, whose round is that? And that's why it was a really, really difficult round to fight to score, because it was in ebbs and flows throughout the whole fight. I was looking online, certainly over the first 6 rounds, I was looking on Twitter and people saying really hard fight to score. I think because Conor was the aggressor, that a lot of people did say online that they believe Conor Walker won. It was a close fight, very, very, very close fight. And yeah, I just really want to see that again, because with a lot of fights, obviously the first one delivers and then you get a rematch and it's not so good. But with their styles, I think they fight 10 times and there's going to be 10 humdingers.
That's a very good point. Because of their styles, you're going to get a barnstormer each time they do face each other. And yeah, that's talking about the scoring of the fight. Boxing is subjective, as you well know. Everyone sees a fight differently. Do you like the pressure, the come forward fighter that throws maybe 10 punches but lands 2? But then another guy, but works for like 2.5 minutes, but another guy gets 30 seconds but lands 5 crisp shots, but he's only worked for them 30 seconds of that round. So how do you win the fight? The guy that landed 5 shots in 30 seconds flush, or the guy that had all the pressure, threw a lot of shots, but he was on the front foot. He was trying to dictate the pace. He was doing everything, but only landed 2 or 3 in that 2.5 minutes where he was under the pressure. So again, it's a tough one to score. It's what you like in those sort of situations, especially a fight like that. And a fight like that is shit that we have to have a loser. Do you know what I mean? It is shit because both of them deserve to win. I know you can't get points for winning and all that, but it's one of them fights where I want to see it again, and I think it will win Fight of the Year just because of just because of everything that was behind it. 10 rounds of just all action packed. I don't think there was a round that was shit, to be honest. It was just action packed from start to finish, and that's why I'm hoping we'll see it again.
Yeah, and just to finish up on that fight, as you say, they weren't a shit round, but I feel like the earlier rounds, there'd be like one really big shot and you'd be like, oh. And then by round 7, 8, 9, 10, there was like 3 shots that are like really heavy shots. So it did build, which is always good. It didn't kind of fade out past the 7th round. It just built until at the end when they were just all in the middle of the ring. Crocker had his arms low and he was just throwing wild punches. I don't know if he was hurt. He looked hurt from where I was standing that last round. But yeah, excellent fight. Let's see it again. Now let's talk about the main event. Tyler Denny. A little bit of a disappointing end. I think everyone will agree. You never want to see a fight finish like that. But he defeats Felix Cash to defend his European title for the first time. And realistically, he's going to be knocking on the door for a world title, which is an amazing, amazing story.
100%, it's an amazing story, and like you said, it's not nice to see a fight end that way because you do have another 8 rounds to go, or whatever it is, 10 rounds to go in a European title fight, I believe. 6 rounds to go, 8 rounds to go if it was a 12-round fight. But yeah, for Tyler Denny though, he defeated Felix Cash, gave him his first loss, and then you've got that sort of. Where was Tyler Denny a year ago? Now look at him. Do you know what I mean? That's why boxing's an amazing sport, because you can't just be that small hall guy over there fighting names, having a loss on your record, a draw on your record, or whatever it is, a couple of losses on your record, but then you come through and you win a European title, you fight your main event in your home county or your home city against Felix Cash, an undefeated opponent. again, what a story. And like you said, he's knocking on doors for world title in a middleweight division, which is wide open right now. I said that to Hamza Sheeraz in Saudi. The middleweight division is screaming for a household name. With Charlo gone, do you know what I mean? You've got Carlos Damas, you've got all these guys that are there. You've got Janabek, Alan Kanuli, but it's like, who's the household name? Me rattling off Erislandy Lara, Carlos Damas, Janabek, Alan Kanuli. You're almost thinking, yeah, who are these people? I know they're world champions, but I don't know them. Even some, maybe the hardcore boxing fans might not even tell you who the world champions are in the middleweight division right now. Do you know what I mean? So for Hamza Sheeraz, especially Hamza Sheeraz, he's got momentum right now to be that guy if he can get to that stage. Tyler Denny, I mean, I know he's only won a European title, but he's got a very, very good skill set. But listen, boxing's mental. Boxing's a crazy sport. Who knows? Who knows? And when you've got a British guy fighting, being there and getting to the top, and we all get behind him, don't we? I know Liam Smith's. I don't know where Liam Smith is right now. I don't know if he'll probably be 160 from now on. Chris Eubank Jr. I don't know what I seen him playing poker with Ryan Garcia the other night there. Who knows what he's doing? So yeah, it's definitely a division that can be taken over by somebody. Whoever wants it, it's there to be taken.
Yeah, and if we can't get a world title fight for Tyler, there's a fight I love, which could be a stadium fight next year, and that's the Nathan Heaney fight. If he gets through Brad Pauls, because obviously Nathan wants that stadium fight, and Tyler will take some Brummie fans with him, and that will be an epic clash for it would be for the British and European should Nathan Heaney come through Brad Pauls rematch, which is an incredibly tough ask, a real good 50-50 fight, which is also taking place in Birmingham in about a month's time on the 20th of July.
I mean, yeah, Birmingham seems to be this little fight city now. It was a sleeping giant a long time ago when you fight through and all these guys, but now you've got Ben Whitaker, you've got Conor Walker, you've got Tyler Denny, you've got all these guys. So yeah, phenomenal. It's becoming that city now, and it was a great card last night. Like, I love all British clashes. Like I keep saying, I love it when two British guys go at it and there's a title on the line, because it just means that much more. I will say for Felix Cash, though, that was 18 odd months out the ring. So, you know what I mean? It's you can't say that the weight might have been a struggle. Who knows? Because it has been so long that he's even tried to make weight again. So shout out to Felix Cash. Hopefully he comes back again. I know it was his first time in the corner with Adam Booth. So fair play to the two of them. But let's talk about. I want to talk about Shalom and Hearn, but let's talk about Regis Prograis and Jack Catterall just now. We'll leave Hearn and Shalom to the end because I like that. And let's talk about Jack Catterall against Regis Prograis. That was announced yesterday. Your thoughts?
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So I think we was all heading into this week. We knew Jamie Moore would be around, obviously, for Aqib Fiaz obviously didn't fight. That's all coming out. And Cameron Vong, who had an excellent win against Jeff Afori. So Jack Catterall was in and around fight week, and I thought we was all going into this fight week thinking that there might be an announcement, and that announcement being Barboza Jr., which was heavily rumoured. And then by Friday night, Saturday morning, there's slight whispers going around that it's not him. Then Saturday afternoon, you're hearing whispers it could be Regis Prograis. And it's just a brilliant fight. Whatever way you look at it, it's an excellent fight. And I said it to Frank Smith and Eddie Hearn, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's probably the best fight that can be made in the division that doesn't currently involve a world title.
Yeah, but I think I spoke to Sam Jones last week, or the week, was it last week or a couple of weeks ago, whenever it was, and he said that the landscape with that 140-pound division right now, with Teofimo Lopez fighting Claggett, Garcia, Haney, who knows what's happening with them two with the suspension, and Haney saying he's retiring for a year and whatnot. And then you've got, what is it, Isaac Pitbull Cruz. I think he's got a fight lined up. So you've got Liam Parrow, who's just fought. So he'll probably want a couple of...
Sandor Martin's got a fight for the WBC.
Exactly, Sandor Martin. So the landscape in that whole sort of 140-pound division right now is all tied up, right? Josh Taylor trilogy, is there an appetite for it? Who knows? I think if it was made, people might get engrossed in it a little bit, but who knows if there's an appetite for it. But when you look at the 140-pound division, then you do have Regis Prograis sitting there, who has shown that even though he had the loss against Josh Taylor, people might be thinking, can he become a world champion again? He just kept on fighting, kept on knocking everybody out. I think he went on a run of knockouts. Tyron McKenna, Jose Cepeda to win that world title, if I remember correctly, after Josh Taylor. Big knockout wins. Became champion again. People might think what the Zerillo fight that he had after winning the world title wasn't his best performance. But again, fighters sometimes do have a bad day at the office. Then a Devin Haney fight, people might think, well, the Zerillo fight, the Devin Haney fight, the last two fights that Regis has had, you might think, oh, he's on the slide. He's 35 years old. He's on the slide. But Zerillo was a late replacement after Liam Parrow, I believe. That's right, wasn't it not?
Yep.
Every fighter is entitled to a bad day at the office. But then he came up against Devin Haney, who can nullify everything you do. Do you know what I mean? He's that good a boxer, Devin Haney, when he's just got a long jab. He likes to jab and hold a little bit, even though he's got a nice right hand on him. So for people saying might think that Regis Prograis on the slide, I don't know. This could be an angry Regis Prograis, because of the loss to Devin Haney, because the way he lost against Devin Haney, a complete shutout, getting dropped by Devin Haney. You might get a Regis Prograis here, because I know Regis very well. I spent a lot of time with him. This could be I think it is, not could be, I think it is a very, very dangerous fight for Jack Catterall against Regis, because I think he might have the bit between his teeth.
Yeah, look, I'm hoping he has got a point to prove. Although I love Jack Catterall, and obviously I would want him to win from a British bias, I want it to be the Regis Prograis that fought that close war against Josh Taylor. I want that epic fight, because both men are elite 140 pounders, and I really can't wait for that. It's going to be in the new arena, first fight ever to be held at the Co-op Live, which I'm being told, and from pictures I've seen, looks absolutely an unbelievable arena. So I really, really can't wait for that. And when I spoke to Eddie Hearn after, he said that is going to be a massive card. There's going to be some serious fights on there. So hopefully we get full announcement soon. And yeah, can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be a great fight in the 140-pound division, Joe, which is probably the best division in boxing right now. I keep saying it.
Yeah, we say it every week. As long as the big fights keep coming. Obviously, we had Parrow upset Matias last week. And then this week, we've had this announced. So hopefully we could get another couple announced by the end of this month. I know Dalton Smith's got a big fight to be announced in September. So these 140-pound fights keep on coming thick and fast. Now, Andrew, would you like to talk about Lyndon Arthur first, or would you like to keep...
Let's talk about the Channel 5 show. We'll keep Shalom and Hearn to the end there. Yeah, you were there again, Joe. I'll just let you take over, because it seems like you're at every show. I was at a fancy dress party on Friday night, so you just take it away.
What was you dressed as?
Go on Instagram. You can't. I've not put it up. Me, my wife, and my wife's best pal Emma and her husband, we went as the Scooby-Doo. We had a big Scooby-Doo, and I was dressed up as Shaggy. My wife was Thelma, and Emma and Sandy were Fred and Daphne from Scooby-Doo. I actually looked all right, man. I had hair for a change, Joe. So
I can't imagine you doing fancy dress. I don't think that'd be up your street, mate.
I hate it, mate. Absolutely fucking despise dressing up. I hate going there, because you're uncomfortable. You try and have a couple of drinks, but you're sitting uncomfortable with stupid wigs on. Do you know what I mean? As soon as people start taking, as soon as the photos are over, I had jeans underneath, took the wig off, had my trainers on, I got changed back into normal clothes. So
I'm not surprised, mate. I'm not surprised. Well, whilst you was being uncomfortable, I was driving up to Bolton from Birmingham and back. Really good show. They always seem to bring up really good fights, these Channel 5 shows. And I can't believe it was actually my first time ever at the Bolton Whites Hotel. All the fight nights that have been there, I've never actually seen a fight night there, and a great, great venue to sit and watch on that balcony. Very much like a York Hall, but a bit more studio-ish. So that's what I'd like to call it. But Liam Cameron versus Lyndon Arthur. Thoroughly enjoyed that fight. Absolutely love Liam Cameron's story. Look, films can be made about that in the future, genuinely. If you don't know about his story, go and find out about it, because it's too long for us to mention on a 30-40 minute podcast. But in 9 months, he's come back from a lot of shit, and he's been given this opportunity against Lyndon Arthur, who's just gone the distance with Dimitri Bivol. And it was a close fight. Really close fight. Lyndon Arthur openly admitted after the fight he didn't do the weight right. He felt very fatigued after the first few rounds. And this is what Liam Cameron said to me after the fight. It's like you're on the edge of a cliff and you're trying to jump and you just can't. It was one of those fights that just neither could really take it by the scruff of the neck, but it was still entertaining, because when Lyndon did get his shots off, he really got them off. Straight right hand, and then on the inside, a little whipping uppercut, but then kind of Liam Cameron would just come back with wild shots, and really interesting fight. Go and watch it, and it was a close decision, really close. One scorecard was too wide, way too wide. But yeah, Lyndon Arthur just done enough, but Liam Cameron, he will 100% get another big fight off the back of that. And I'd like to stick him in with someone like Ben Whittaker. That'd be a great test for Ben Whittaker.
Definitely. I think Ben needs a sort of domestic dust up with these guys that we've got in the
Someone tough. Someone's going to come.
Yeah, somebody's going to come, and somebody that he's not going to get away with doing what he gets away with. Do you know what I mean? Like walking, like he wouldn't do that to Lyndon Arthur, try and walk him back to the corner. Do you know what I mean? And stuff like that, and do that little tap on the head. He wouldn't do that with a Lyndon Arthur or a Buatsi or a Yard or whoever he's. Do you know what I mean? Whoever. So yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you. Yeah, I'll try and find it somewhere. The fight, like I said, I was out on Friday night, so unfortunately I didn't catch the Channel 5 show. But yeah, like you said, that arena as well, that little balcony at the top, best seat in the house. Watching it from up there.
Yeah, really good. Just throughout the card, you had Khalil Majid. He was on it. Massive Bolton fan base, so that he took up mainly all the arena. Tom Welland, who's one of my good pals, he moved to 5-0. Epic knockdown. Couldn't get him out of there in the end, but yeah, really special talent. Look forward to seeing him. Really good night before drove back down to Birmingham to see one of the fights of the years, which we've already spoke about. So now, to finish off, we will speak about promoters colliding, Eddie Hearn and Ben Shalom. It was a bit of like a will he, won't he throughout the week. I got told on last Saturday at Selhurst Park that Ben Shalom was definitely coming to represent Tyler Denny and support him. And then I got to the fight week on Wednesday, and the matchroom guy was like, we really don't know. So that was one of the most interesting narratives throughout the week, but he did arrive, and he shook Eddie's hand, he shook Frank Smith's hand, and yeah, they seemed to get on okay. But I did ask Ben Shalom if he felt awkward. He said, I didn't really know what to expect. I don't think anyone did. I think I was more interested about Frank Smith and Ben Shalom, because we all know Frank Smith's had a lot to say about Ben, certainly over the last 6 months. And I was interviewing Frank Smith, and Ben Shalom did walk past. I did try and get Ben in. He declined. I'll be honest, he did decline. He didn't really want to get involved in that, but that footage will come out later. And yeah, it was just a bit of a weird situation. How did it come across on TV?
Weird. Probably a good word for it. Yeah. Situation. Like I know Frank Smith says, especially in my interviews, he said some things about Ben Shalom, but he's always said, listen, I might not like you personally, but I'll do business with anyone. So if you
he said that to me this week as well.
Yeah. So he's more than happy to work with you. Like he won't hold those sort of personal grievances or the personal opinions he has on you to your face if you're talking business. Do you know what I mean? I seen the handshake with Eddie Hearn and Ben Shalom. It was, yeah. Do you know what I mean?
They didn't stand up, did they?
Nah. Listen, they've met each other for the first time. We've seen what's happened in Saudi. Frank Warren and stuff like that, and Eddie Hearn getting together with the Saudi stuff. And like Eddie, I think Eddie said, was it your interview? or was it somebody's interview? I can't quite remember. He said, "Now listen, you can win fights against me, against my fighter.
Yeah.
So let's stop making the fights."
Every promoter can at the minute.
Exactly.
Frank Warren just done him Ben Shalom.
I know,
He's not
like
having the greatest time.
Eddie really needs to up his game, I suppose. Yeah, but I think it's good for boxing because you look at the fighters that Ben has, right? He's got Ben Whittaker and all these guys. He's got Chris Smith in the cruiserweight division. Eddie Hearn's got Jaya Pataya. So you're sort of half wanting these two to really work together and get these fights made. Because I think Bill Smith and Jaya Pataya, for me, is the best fight in that heavyweight division right now. Especially for us in the UK, because we know Jaya Pataya. I mean, we all know Chris Smith, obviously. But you've got Murdo Ramirez, who maybe some fans might know, but they might not know him because he's over there in Las Vegas, the American-Mexican guy. So, yeah, it's I'm happy that they shoot cans. Ben's quite Ben's been coming out of his shell a little bit more in this last couple of weeks. Do you know what I mean? He's been more, what's the word I'm looking for? His personality's coming out a little bit more. He's joking, he's laughing, he's saying some things where he's not trying to take the piss out of you, but he's like the way Eddie Hearn does him, little slide digs or the back compliments. Do you know what I mean? He's starting to come out a little bit, and I like that. I heard that he brought his own security. Is that right?
Yeah, he did. He did. He brought Stretch. Yeah, he come mob-handed, to be honest. I'm trying to think who he brought. He brought Joe Brett and Dan Miller, his media guys, Ben, and Stretch, the security guard. Stretch, shout out those guys. But yeah, I don't know what he thought was going to happen to him, but it is true. I've probably done more interviews with Ben Shalom in the past month than I have done in the past year, which is good because we, at the end of the day, we do want to hear from him. We want to hear from all of our promoters because we want to know what's going on. And contrary to what everyone thinks, it's not just about beef. We do actually want to get some news. Don't get me wrong, we love it. But yeah, it's good that we're hearing from him. And yeah, come out your shell. And he done loads of interviews last night. He stayed until Eddie Hearn did, which is what you want to see.
Definitely. And I like Ben. I've got a lot of time for Ben. He's always been good to me. So it's good to see that his personality, and he's not afraid to poke that bear and give you a backhanded compliment now, which I like to see. I think in boxing, you need to have thick skin. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. You're not everybody's cup of tea, Joe. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. And we just do this.
I'm definitely not.
Yeah. You're not my cup of tea. I have to do this with you every Sunday. Talk about a cup of tea. I'll talk about a cup of tea. I'll finish mine, will I?
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, it's good to see them working together. I think right now where British boxing right now is probably the best it's been in a long time. It really has. We've got the best heavyweights. We've probably got the best light heavyweights. We've got a good crop of cruiserweights. We've got a middleweight in Hamza Sheeraz, and I'll tell you, Denny, Chris Eubank Jr., Liam Smith, if they've got a little bit left in them to run that division. 140-pound division, we've got Jack Catterall, Dalton Smith. Do you know what I mean? We've got an amazing crop of people. The featherweight division, we've got Nick Ball. Do you know what I mean? Josh Warrington, Liam
lightweight, Sam Noakes and Mark Chamberlain.
Yeah, my goodness. So it's a British boxing is flying right now. So I'm buzzed. I'm good to see them two shake hands at least, and Frank Smith as well getting handshake in. So hopefully we can see more business being made. I think the Whittaker the Bill Smith and Jaya Pataya fight is a good fight for them to get made. It's somewhere in the country or in the world, and probably Saudi most likely. But
yeah.
Listen, Joe, I won't keep you much longer because I think the time is running out.
Okay.
So I'll let you get on with your Sunday. Enjoy it, and no doubt I'll catch you next week. In fact, you're at the press conference on 26th, right?
Press conference Wednesday. There's a load of shows next week. Absolutely load of shows. I don't actually think I'm going to be at one.
Oh,
if I'm being completely honest.
Shock.
But yeah, even I might have to have a weekend off once, but I might be. The chance I will be. But yeah, we'll catch up next week, and I will see you soon, mate.
Thanks again, Joe. See you soon, brother.
Cheers.
Wall Street Memes Casino
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.